Kotaku's editor-in-chief just quit, walked out, said, "Deuces, I'm out ski," because if you believe the news, Kotaku is actually going to be steering away from the woke propaganda. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and these are the videos I live for. This is why I love bringing you guys the news, because if this is true, what a massive culture war W. So we're gonna get into this article. Before we do, hit the subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day, and again, it's moments like these that we just need to savor the victories. War isn't won, but by God, if this is true, it is very much true that the editor-in-chief quit. But if it's true that Kotaku is going to focus less on journalism, then there's hope for the world yet. This coming from Grums, so much game news. Kotaku to ditch fake news and switch to making gaming guides. Editor-in-chief resigns in a huff. Probably because in order to do guides, they'd actually have to be able to play games. Oh, the shade, the stereotype, the understandable stereotype that journalists don't actually play the games they review because they're not real gamers. You'll love to see it. So we got Carolyn Petit here. This dude that cosplays as a woman, is responding to the editor-in-chief making her announcement tweet. Some personal news: I've resigned from Kotaku and Jim Spanfeller is an herb. And then we got this homie here saying, extremely proud of Jin for taking this ethical stance in response to profoundly misguided anti-journalism edicts from Geo Media Management, Geo being the ones that own Kotaku. And I love that you say it's anti-journalism when you yourself are nothing but a propagandist. In fact, you know what? I've got your profile right here. Do you still work for Kotaku? I'm interested because, oh, well, yeah, I'm right over here. Like, Kotaku. So you're talking about how proud you are. You're talking about how absolutely proud that your partner in crime here decided to leave because it's such an ethical stance. Then why are you still there? But let's get to the actual article written about it. This is from Aftermath, and remember that name because we're going to get into it here pretty soon. They've got a very interesting connection to this. Kotaku editor-in-chief resigns over new editorial edict. Jen Glennon, who took over as editor-in-chief Kotaku in October, resigned Thursday. In a resignation letter seen by Aftermath, Glennon says that she made this choice due to the management team's recent decision to deprioritize news in favor of guides. Oh, I hope that's true. We got the management, Geo Media, saying, yeah, this woke stuff isn't making us a lot of money. Let's sort of shuffle things up, reprioritize, because we're gonna go under at this rate. We saw what happened to Jezebel. We don't want this to be us. And you know what? I'm a forgiving dude. I'm a giver. I prefer second chances. Kotaku, let's see if you make good on this. I'll be willing to give you a year or so, give 6 months to a year, see if your sort of your style improves, see if these sort of woke news articles go out the window. And I will be, to be fair and to be honest with you guys, it's not like the news is going away completely. They're just not prioritizing it anymore. Their prioritizations are going to be in favor of these guides. So you're still going to have those wacky, wonky articles about how, JRPGs do such horrible things to women by making them sexy. How dare they? The male gaze. Like, you're absolutely still going to have those, I'm sure. But hey, if they're willing to go this far, maybe they'll go a little further. Let's see. Glennon is the second editor-in-chief of Kotaku since Steven Totillo's departure in 2021, following Patricia Hernandez, who was fired in August 2023. I ain't seeing a lot of job security at Kotaku. Like, if you're an up-and-coming writer and you want to throw your hat in the ring, hey, they got a position open. But that's three editors-in-chief in 3 years. I don't see you lasting super long. Here's what they actually had to say, though. Here's what Glennon had to say, and it's so self-aggrandizing, it's so pompous, and so, you just gotta read it for yourself. After careful consideration, I've concluded the current management structure and decision-making processes at Geo Media are not aligned with my values and goals for Kotaku. Bull stop! Bull stop! Your values and goals for Kotaku. So now you're openly admitting that you had moralistic viewpoints that you were shoving into the company, that you were trying to get the entire outlook of the gaming space, this entire gaming culture, to bow and kowtow and shift to your values and goals. Your goal was to turn Kotaku into a propaganda machine that met your moral standards and just hope that the gamers went along with it. You're saying the quiet part out loud because whatever, you quit, you're gone, you're out ski, so you got no reason to lie anymore. We've all known this is the case for God knows how long. We've been dunking on you for it for God knows how long, but now you're actually admitting it, that you were nothing but a propagandist and you were using the gaming space to spread that propaganda. Oh, the truth will set you free! Glennon wrote in her letter of resignation, which was addressed to Geo Media executives Jim Spampfeller and Leah Goldman. I firmly believe the decision to invert Kotaku's editorial strategy to deprioritize news in favor of guides is fundamentally misguided given the current infrastructure of the site. Oh my goodness, honey, you're either lying out your ass or you don't know how the internet works. Websites change all the time. They restructure all the time, many of which to stay relevant. Again, Kotaku saw the writing on the wall. They're like, oh, Jezebel went down the tubes. We're headed that same direction because the ESG money does have to dry up eventually. Now, whenever it does, how it does, I mean, that's a whole different ballgame, but it does have to dry up eventually. It's a war of attrition type thing. So you know what? Let's just restructure. Let's reprioritize. Let's do what so many other websites do. And you know what? Maybe it'll work for them. Also, maybe it won't. That bridge could be burned. Who knows? But I'm actually interested to see where it goes in the long run. But the fact of the matter is, you're just upsetting spaghetti because you ain't going to get to shove your propaganda as front page breaking news anymore. This decision is directly contradicted by months of traffic data and shows an astonishing disregard for the livelihoods of the remaining writers and editors that work here. Remaining, mind you, she says remaining because so many of them have been laid off. Why have they been laid off? Because the site's not making money. It really is that simple. Of course you only have remaining writers, the ones that you could afford to keep after you axe the rest of them, because people don't go to Kotaku for news. The only people who click on Kotaku are idiots like me and others in this culture war space to bring you videos and news about it because it's so mind-numbingly stupid. When's the last time you ever heard somebody say in earnest, oh yeah, I heard about this on Kotaku, it's really good news, and actually take it seriously? Also, you say that it is contradicted by months of traffic data. Like, how would you know? How would you know what the traffic data is? I mean, you very well might. You might have access to it, but how do you know it can be trusted? Because if the individuals are reading these like I'm reading, like I cover these Kotaku articles, you don't know if it's positive or negative. All you know is that people are visiting the site. But if people are visiting the site to dunk on you and then not clicking on any of the ads, then you're not making any money. Glennon also announced a resignation on Twitter. Yeah, we got that now. Currently, Kotaku's homepage features a prominent games, tips, and guides module at the top of the page in a space that was previously reserved for major stories and breaking news. Staff members have criticized the choice on social media, noting that Kotaku's major source of traffic is not guides. Now, this was written by Gita Jackson. Gita Jackson is a very interesting individual. So if you go to, you guys remember Ash Parrish that works for The Verge, Ash Parrish, the one that wrote that incredibly biased Verge article about the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected page that gamers rejected outright, said, we know the lies, we know the propaganda, we've been around the block, we see what you're doing, get fucked, Ash Parrish. That Ash Parrish, well, they retweeted this from Tina Snowago. If you are a current or former worker at Spampfeller and Leah Goldman run Geo Media and would like to speak with me for a story, please reach out by email, gita@aftermath.site. I'm writing specifically about the current state of Kotaku, but I'm open to hearing anything. And then, of course, lockdown replies. Now, that's interesting. You're writing a story on Kotaku. Wait a second. You're the one that wrote this article, so yeah, you got a bias for this. Of course you're wanting to write about this. You're wanting to hear the people that are leaving Kotaku's side so that you can basically pick up where they left off and be the new propaganda journalism. We already got a replacement for Kotaku right in front of our eyes. It's Aftermath. It's right here. That is absolutely amazing. But you know what? I'll give you this because gamers aren't falling for it. If you go to this, post by Carolyn Patet here, they are just getting so dunked on. Geo Media wants actual journalism. You and your ilk just spew out propaganda and gaslight folks, especially minorities. I guess your girl Jen better learn to code. Oh, you love to see it, Lorena Creel. Alright, I don't see why anti-journalism edicts would affect Kotaku. You don't do journalism, you do propaganda. Better start working on guides instead of this shit. I demand to see Oro's dick and balls in Street Fighter V. Lost Ark's depiction of female characters feels a decade out of date. We got, nah. Since when do Kotaku do journalism? Imagine thinking your colleague is brave for quitting their job because they have to write guides for gamers now instead of looking on Twitter for drama pieces and calling it journalism. It feels so good. You see every single one of these gamers, every single one of these real nerds that actually care about the media, that care about what's going on right now, and just coming, like, everyone all of a sudden turned into NBA players because you can all dunk stunk. It is amazing. But you know what? This is exactly what we've been saying would happen. We've been saying it for quite literally at least 2 years now, or at least I know I have, that the money is drying up, that Kotaku is going to go under, that eventually these companies, these corporations, whether it be Kotaku, whether it be the Mary Sue, whether it be Polygon, whether it be Jezebel, they will not last. They cannot sustain themselves because this is not an ideology that the vast majority of people actually succumb to. It's just a bunch of loud idiots on Twitter that make you think that it's an ideology that the majority of people hold. Now, that being said, the individuals in power, yes, we all know they hold those ideologies. We know that now the DHS is involved, the ADL is involved. We know all these three-letter agencies and governments are involved. So obviously, when it comes to the power dynamics, yeah, we are still on the back foot. While we should celebrate this win, do not think we're close to an actual win of the war. The people that had the power still believe this stuff, or even if they don't believe it, they're still pushing it due to their agenda because they've got something on the back end that this is going to work for them out in the long ways. But let's celebrate this while it is, and let's acknowledge we were all right, and it couldn't be happening to a better group of folks. I mean, Kotaku isn't shutting down, but Kotaku as we know it is pretty much shutting down, or at least is coming to an end. And I think that's the best that we could hope to ask for. So I want to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about the gaming industry, but man, the news and leaks lately have just been so, that's like all I can talk about. So yes, hit that button. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose videos for me to react to, choose the articles that I cover on stream. Also, you got discount code VITALIDLE for some money off a shirt or a mug. Rep that Words of Paradise merch. I'd love to see you in it. And remember, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.